I'm Elisa Parker here at the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It's the largest film festival of its kind. And in addition to having filmmakers, the folks featured in the films, coffee talks, experts, scientists, a key part of this as well, it's integrated, and it's looking at art and advocacy coupled together. And so along all the venues that we have here in Nevada City and Grass Valley, highlighting the festival, a big part of that is art and the artists who are in the creation process, bringing the natural scape to life in a whole other way in their messaging. And I'm so excited to have award-winning, we could say now, award-winning artist, photographer Barbara McCabe, and she joins us here actually exhibiting your pieces in the winery, Nevada City Winery, where we're hosting the media lunch. So welcome, first of all, Barbara.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here as well.
It's exciting to have you here. The theme is embracing landscapes. So tell us a little bit about that, and also the unique way that you're capturing the essence of this through your photography.
Sure. So I'm a self-portrait photographer that primarily focuses on landscapes as well as historic processes. So I am using a large format camera, which is, most people are familiar with Ansel Adams.
Yes.
And so he had a camera that's kind of got an accordion, and it's a film camera. So I shoot in black and white and develop the film. With the idea that the land's historic and timeless as well. So I wanted to use a process that reflected kind of just the history of the earth in a way.
Right.
So it's the history of photography from its beginnings, using kind of cyanotype, calotype, pinhole photography, which was one of the first ones developed in the world of photography, and through these different processes can involve just kind of a measure of time that's also reflected in the timelessness of the earth.
Part of what you said too in this exhibit is highlighting how we are part of the natural world and not necessarily being agitated within it. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah, so I went to the Academy of Art and I had to develop a thesis, and I always wanted to be in the world and photographing the natural environment, but at a certain point I decided that I really didn't want to focus on the negative, even though there's a lot of that. Unfortunately, I wanted there to be a positive feeling coming from it, that we can be in the landscape but in balance with it, that we can be present and leave it intact and not destroyed or degraded, but we can be present but connected without destroying it.
Right, and so you're actually in all are you in all of the pieces?
All the ones with the human figure, it is actually me, but I try not to, I'm not directly looking at the camera. I am, it might be the back of my head or kind of a distant shot, just because the idea is that I want people to envision themselves in that environment and want to be present in it, so that it's not specifically me, but just more of a human presence.
The human presence in the natural world.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a key part of this whole festival, is how we are integrated in this. As human beings, we are part of this. We're part of the ecosystem. Yeah. What is it that you love most about expressing your own passions in this through photography?
Well, I, just came from a background, a divorced family and that sort of thing. And I just felt that in nature, I was able to be revived and re-energized, and that it just gave to me kind of a new peace and energy that when we're in our busy lives, and especially with all the digital advantages of social media, it just becomes overwhelming. So kind of to be able to get out and re-inspired and re-engaged and just to feel the earth and be reconnected to your roots, it was really positive for me.
Do you have other creative modalities, or is it primarily photography?
Primarily photography, but I am a triathlete as well.
You're a triathlete, okay.
So I guess the physical aspect of just trudging through the wild and just the energy, I expend it, but I also get it back. So it's kind of an interesting balance.
So you're out and about in these wild natural scapes. What's like one of the wildest things that's happened for you in the process of creating this specific exhibit?
Well, every image definitely has a story, and I did mention that because it's an older camera, I don't have a self-timer on it, so my husband is part of the process. But one interesting shoot we had was out in Winnemucca, out in the sand dunes there, and I had, my vision of footprints in the sand, so you see the human presence without there being a person there. And it ended up snowing and then being like 20 degrees, and I was disappointed because it affected my vision. But then I was just like, well, we have to do it anyways, and I took off my shoes and I walked as slowly as I could through the snow and froze my feet and took like a half an hour to thaw. But it was just, it engages your senses as far as touch and the smell and everything.
Going fully immersive. And we've been talking about that at Wild and Scenic. Engaging all senses as part of this process is so key. So you're doing a discussion today?
Yeah, I am at Nevada City Winery Gallery at 4 o'clock, and it's just a discussion just because these processes of calotype, cyanotype, pinhole, as well as the black and white film process aren't necessarily as well known as, digital, which is so popular.
So you're going to be talking about that process today?
Yeah, and just
That's
question answers. So.
And congratulations on getting the Judge Award for this as well at Wild and Scenic. That's always a huge honor.
Yeah, no, it feels very special. Was very happy about that.
Well, Barbara, it's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for enhancing our media lounge and this space at Nevada City Winery, which many thanks to Nevada City Winery. That's where we've been hosting the Wild and Scenic Film Fest Media Lounge all weekend long, and we love it here. We love the space, and in the back areas where you can experience and see Barbara's amazing photography exhibit, and again at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Anyone's welcome.
Yes, and the show will be up until March 3rd.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Barbara. All right, there we go. Arts and advocacy. It's all happening right here at Wild and Scenic. I'm Elisa Parker, and we'll be back next year. Thank you, Barbara.